Hi, Eric here with Cloud9 Window Cleaning, and you have selected to get an exact estimate for your window cleaning, and I want to take a little moment here to help you through that process. It's not real difficult, but I'll give you some helpful tips and hints on how to do that, and so you can make sure that you get an accurate estimate. In window cleaning, we typically charge by the pane. That's an industry standard most of the time. And we don't charge by the window. So let me maybe define what we mean when we say pane of glass. A pane of glass is any piece of glass that has its own trim or border around it that separates it from other pieces of glass that are part of the same window. An example of that, and the most common type of window that you'll see in a home, is a double hung window. A double hung window has an upper sash and a lower sash. And the way you open the window is by raising the lower sash up and down. And in a lot of cases, the upper sash also moves up and down on a track. For this particular kind of window, you're looking at two panes of glass. There's one pane and the second pane. On all of our window cleaning services, and we have different levels of service, so when you get the estimate, you'll have an option for basic, deluxe, or premium. On all three of them, we clean the sill that faces the outside of your home on all of those. That is just automatic with those services. With the premium service, however, we will actually open the window and clean this bottom section that's hidden from when the window is closed. That's what we mean when we say track. So in this case, you'll need to know that there are two panes and one track. And some other things to consider on this too is if you happen to have storm windows. A storm window is a window that goes around the outside of this window, and it's on the outside of your home, and it's completely separate, and it's typically a double hung as well. It goes up and down, has tracks. But for the purpose of counting and for this type of estimate, just count the panes on the primary window, so in this case two panes, and then just count one storm window. So there'll be a place there you'll see at the bottom that says how many storm windows do you have. If you don't have any, of course, leave that blank. But if you have, for example, this is the only one and you had a storm window on it, it'd be two panes and one storm window. One track, and if there's a screen, because it's going to ask you how many screens you have, if you had a screen on there, that'd be one screen. The second type of window, and it's also a very common type of window, we just call it a casement window. These type of windows a lot of times will crank out, or they'll slide back and forth, side to side, and sometimes they'll open like doors. But it's just, in this case, you see there's two different panes there. As far as the tracks are concerned, if both of these open, each one's going to have its individual track, a place at the bottom there that is hidden when the window is closed. So here we have two panes and two tracks. Another kind of window people commonly ask me about is the transom. A transom window, it can be over a double hung, it can be over a casement, it can be all by itself in a bathroom. So each one of these are individual panes, and sometimes they're round topped as well. So you want to make sure you count those as separate panes to give you an accurate estimate. And to mention on this, when you look at the bottom and you start to get this pane count, there's going to be three options on pane counts: regular, large, and small. The regular and large, you don't really have to show a difference between those, because those, I have a base price for all panes. It doesn't matter the size of the pane, how high off the ground the pane is. It's just a base price per pane. So you can put that information into the section for regular or large. It doesn't make any difference. But what does make a difference is the small panes, and that's if you have French windows. And I'm not talking about the kind of windows that have the removable grids that you take off and then put back on. I'm talking about the ones that are permanent grids that separate the window into a bunch of individual panes. You would want to count all those individual panes and put that in the section for small panes. It's really easy to count these. For example, in this case, we have 9 panes on this window. If you have your whole house that has French style panes, multi-pane windows, then chances are you have a lot of windows that have exactly the same amount of panes in them. So if you have a 9-pane window, you probably have several other 9-pane windows. So what you would do is count how many of these kind of windows you have. So say you had 10 9-pane windows, well then you have 90 small panes. So hopefully that helps on understanding what we mean by panes and tracks and screens and all that, and that'll help you to get an accurate count. There are a few other things that I can give you some tips on doing a pane count, is to get a small notebook and a pen and walk around the outside of your home. It's much easier and it's a lot more accurate than walking up and down stairs and going into each room individually. And a lot of times you might forget the garage windows and the windows on the garage doors and things like that. So just a pen and paper, walk around the outside, make little tally marks for panes, tracks, and screens, and you'll get an accurate count there. Plug that information in and you'll get an accurate estimate every single time. So I hope that helps. Thank you and have a great day.